one-on-one chat and see what you think about the Chris Mannix tweet.
Is it breaking news? I should get the breaking news shit out.
Can do.
Ooh, hold on, let me just get out. I haven't read it yet, guys. Hold on. I'm not looking at it. DAZN officials this week, including Executive Chairman John Skipper, met with Anthony Joshua to discuss bringing the rematch with Andy Ruiz back to New York. The likelihood is the rematch takes place in the UK, but it will be Joshua's call. So DAZN wants a rematch in the US. Not surprising. And Joshua and their team probably want in the UK. What Chris is reporting. I would assume Chris has probably really good sources in that team. Obviously, working with DAZN and Matchroom a lot.
Yeah, he seems to
same with like Mike Coppinger and PBC. Like I would assume they're tapped into those respective conglomerates very well.
Yeah, ESPN. Yeah,
so. It's just obvious. Who do you think wins out this battle? I think it will be a battle this time around. I don't think AJ and Eddie are going to be as willing to be like, oh, yeah, of course, John. We're going to send him over there. I think they're going to be more defensive about their fighter in a way and trying to put as much chips in their basket as possible.
Eddie's kind of in a really tough spot because Adam Smith and Sky will want it here. John Skipper and DAZN will want it there. And one's going to offer more money.
What do you think Eddie wants? Like, on a personal reason, not for money. Like, what do you think in his mind? If when he's by himself, what does he think he would prefer?
I think,
if you had to guess, obviously,
I'm torn. I think he'd really want a massive night in a stadium, and because there's been a lot of talk now that who was it said it was going to be London.
Sean Nam.
Yeah, there's been a lot of now talk about Cardiff and stuff like that. Part of me thinks Eddie would like him to go back and conquer America like he was supposed to the first time, but I think he'll want it back in the UK. Yeah, I don't know. I think considering the amount of followers, that Ruiz has got, and obviously it's apparently done just behind what Canelo's done in his 2 fights on there. So possibly 500,000, maybe 400,000 for the Joshua Ruiz fight
in the US. Yeah.
Yeah, I think DAZN are looking at this is going to be a huge deal if they can get it in America on DAZN, primetime American sort of time, because Andy Ruiz is just on a lap of honor and he's gaining fame and followers, and he's meeting the president of Mexico on Tuesday or something like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man. And he's just riding the wave. But DAZN, I'm sure, are watching that. I think the highlights video on DAZN is now on 10.5 million. It appears, 93% of the whole audience that might have watched it were on illegal streams. But yeah, ultimately, answer to your question, I think they'll lean the UK. Eddie Hearn would lean towards the UK for this.
You think they forced John Skipper to not? I wish we knew the contract in its particulars, because I wouldn't want to know sort of who has the more leveraging power in this deal.
Well, money talks, man, and I think DAZN will have a lot more than Sky would, but I don't know.
Who? I mean,
here's my thoughts on this. I think Eddie will have to put it in the UK, because ultimately I think Joshua, if your father is upset with someone, there's like a tie there that, to me, he's going to listen to family a lot, right? So if ultimately you want to get your belts back in the UK, and Eddie already has kind of forced you into being the DAZN poster boy, which maybe Joshua's not super stoked about carrying the Matchroom USA brand on DAZN over there, right? I think if he feels like Eddie is more concerned with how DAZN does and Matchroom USA than how he personally does, that's going to cause some kind of rift between him and Eddie. That's going to cause some kind of trust issues. And I think that's where he's going to focus on is making sure AJ feels comfortable however the next fight goes, so he gets his belts back. And I just think that Eddie is in a really tough spot in a lot of ways, like you said, with Adam Smith, with Sky Sports, with John Skipper and DAZN, and even with some of the fighters, because Eddie has a lot of obligations to get DAZN where it needs to be, because it's basically him and, fucking Oscar De La Hoya who are carrying the mantle for pushing the DAZN subscriber base. So I feel like Eddie's just caught in a really tough spot here. But I think that fight ends up in the UK unless Ruiz just doesn't take it. And I don't know what that would look like for him. I mean, we've seen it before, though, where someone didn't honor the rematch clause. So